Today is the Agadita, big part of the shiur dealing with Agadic part, the story of the way the Kohen Gadol entered to the Holy of Holies during Yom Kippur, but many practical halachot we have. For example, the way that one finished the Amida prayer, how the person goes back, the 3 steps, etc., derived from this shiur as well as other halachot. So we are on page 52b, 6 lines from the bottom of the page. צבר את הקטורת על גבי גחלים. So they said that in the Mishnah, he piles the incense atop the coals. So the Gemarrah said, Tanan keman de'amar tzovra. So we learn in the Mishnah, according to the opinion, the one who said the piles the incense on the coals does not scatter there. Tan echada, tzovra pnima שהיא חוצה לו, ותניא אידך, צוברה חוצה שהיא פנימה לו. There is 2 opinions. One said that he piles in the incense in a section that the coal pan closest to the ark, which is a much farthest from the Kohen Gadol until it reaches the other side of the coal pan. And the other bride said he piled the second of the coal pan farthest from the ark, which is the closest to him. So Amar Abaye, so basically it's a contradiction. So Amar Abaye, it's not a contradiction. Why? Because Tanaihi, it is a dispute between the Tanaim. So Amar Abaye, so after he said that the 2 brighter, these 2 separate opinion or opposite opinion, so now he ruled according to one of them. He said, Mistabra kemadamar pnima שהיא חוצה לו. It is reasonable to explain the way that the opinion of one who said that the pile of the incense it was closest to the ark, which is the farthest from him, that nan melamdim oto. We learned in the Mishnah that they teach the Kohen Gadol, they're teaching the regular Kohen who burned the incense. That's the Mishnah in Talmud, chapter 6, that's speaking about the golden altar. So they teach the Kohen who burned the incense, hizaher, be very circumspect. Gimel Amud Aleph 53a, שלא תתחיל מפניך שמא תיקווה. So not to begin piling the incense in before you, which means the side that is closest to you. Why? Lest you be burned. Because the Kohen, to place the incense on the side directly of the front of him, then proceed to spread it to the ark. So his hand will pass over the incense that it's already burning, and he might burn himself. So the big chashash, according to Rashi and others, it's because it gets close to him when he does this. So it's it means that also the incense of Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol start from the Rosh HaMachta, that it's outer part of him. So anyway, Tanu Rabbanan. Now we speak how we burn the incense on Yom Kippur. So the sages taught in the Braita, ונתן את הקטורת על האש לפני השם. He shall put the incense upon the fire before God. That's Leviticus chapter 16. So שלא יתקן מבחוץ ויכניס. That the Kohen should not take and burn the coals. He should not take the incense and burn it inside. Why? להוציא מליבן של צדוקים שאומרים לתקן מבחוץ ויכניס. So that's to dispute the opinion of Sadducees who lived during the era of the Second Temple, So it was a community of Sadducees who did not accept the tradition of the oral Torah. And in their opinion, the Kohen Gadol entered the Holy of Holies only after he put the incense on the coal pan. So, concerned that the Kohen Gadol might follow this terrible heresy, the sages made him swear not to behave in that way. That's a famous Rambam in Hilchot Avodat Yom Kippurim, chapter 1. My Darush, what is how the way the Sadducees interpret it? Ki banan era'el hakaporet, since the Torah said in the book of Leviticus chapter 16, for I will appear in a cloud upon the ark cover. So מלמד שיתקן מבחוץ ויכניס. So they said that this teaches that he should prepare an outside, and so it will already be a cloud of incense, and only then should we bring inside the Holy of Holies. אמרו להם חכמים, the sages respond to the Sadducees, and they said, ולא כבר נאמר ונתן את הקטורת על האש לפני השם. They said that he should put the incense upon the fire before the Lord in Leviticus 16. So, which means that the Kohen Gadol should present the incense only when he stands before God at the place of the Kodesh HaKodashim. So, so what does that mean? For I will appear in the cloud upon the ark cover. So this verse does not mean that there should already be incense cloud before he enters. That's referring that he include smoke raisers in its spices, and a plant that causes the smoke to rise straight up like a staff. Because they said, and the incense should cover the ark cover. So if he did not include the smoke raiser, or if he omitted any one of those spices, so he deserved mita, penalty. And maybe the Tana should drive the fact that he enters into the Kodesh HaKodashim for no purpose, because the whole point of entering there, it should be for a reason. B'chol et, which means if it's no reason, it's one of those points that we said, Michlal lav ata shomea hen, that if the Kohen Gadol put the incense in the Holy of Holies without this type of smoke, so even he miss one of the incense, that's Halach al Moshe Messina, that it's deserve mitah. The Beit Yosef said in Orach Chaim Kuf Lamed Gimel that the smoke is not part of the obligation of the incense. It's a very many opinion how they did it, especially if you speak about the incense of the Yom Kippur and the rest of the daily offering. But the key is that if in this writer they teach us that if he did not put in this incense in the proper way, that the proper decorum that he was instructed, so he deserved mitah, and specifically applies to Yom Kippur, but not, and that's the Rambam said, it's not applied to the daily incense. Again, there's a Chazon Ish on Zvachim, page 9, that elaborates on all of that. So they said, Amar Rav Sheshet, Acha b'may askina. So he says here what we're speaking about, כגון ששגג בביאה והזיד בהקטרה. Here he speaks about the Kohen Gadol that made a mistake when he entered. In other words, he entered for no clear reason to the Holy of Holies, but not missing one of the incense. Another option, even that you may say that he acted intentionally with regard to both, which means he know very full well that he will be liable to receive this type of penalty, that penalty both for burning incomplete incense and for entering the Holy of Holies for no purpose, but nevertheless possible that he would not liable to receive that penalty for his entry. And Rabbi explained it, and he said, "Afilu teima הזיד בזו בזו כגון דעה לשתי הקטרות, אחת שלמה ואחת חסרה. הביאה לא מחייב דעה לשלמה, הקטרה מחייב וכמקטר קטורת חסרה." So he said that there's two sets of incense that into the Holy of Holies. One complete with all the spices, and one incomplete, both of which he burns. So for his entry to the Holy of Holies, he's not liable to deserve mita. But when he bought a coal pan with complete incense and thereby fulfilled the mitzvah, however, for burning he is liable to receive a mita, and he burns incomplete incense. So how do you know that include the smoke raisers in its spices? Talmud lomar vechisa. The verse said in Leviticus 16, and it shall be covered. Kra likra. So the Gemara is over the verse of another verse, which means the whole requirement of a smoke raiser was already proven from the verse, for I will appear in a cloud over the ark cover. So why cite the second verse to support the first one? Amar Rav Yosef Hachi Kamar, En li ela ale ma'ale ashan. Ikar ma'ale ashan minayin. How do you know the root of smoke raiser? Talmud lomar v'chisa. So you learn from it shall cover that you have for more of the smoke raiser that might have been supposed from the other verse. Omar le Abaye va'ipcha Tanya. We learn the opposite. The Tanya natan ba'ikar ma'ale ashan hara mitamer v'oleh kemakel ad shemagia l'shmei korah. It was a special way that made this Torah that's come up straight until he reached the calm like a staff, until he reached the Beit HaMikdash, the ceiling. Kevan shegiya l'shmei korah, when he reached the ceiling of the temple, so he said, Meshamesh v'yored bakotalim, ad shenitmale habayit hashan. He descended the walls until the entire house was filled with smoke. Shenemar ve'habayit yimale hashan. They said in the book of Isaiah chapter 6, and the house was filled of smoke, so the root of smoke raises smoke better than its leaf. אלא אמר אביי, אחר כאמר, אין לי אלא עיקר מעלה עשן, למעלה עשן מנין, תלמוד לומר וכיסה. The same מהלך. רב ששת אמר, אין לי אלא אוהל מועד שבמדבר. We understand only the tent of meeting that was in the desert. שילה בית אלוהים מנין. How do you know the tabernacle in Shiloh, an eternal temple in Yerushalayim? How do you know it? So they said they have this obligation to extend the tabernacle at those places. So they learn from the pasuk in Shul Cover that whatever the Kohen Gadol entered to the Holy of Holies to burn incense, he must include a smoke raiser in its ingredients. We learn, we derive this halakha from the book of Leviticus chapter 16, and so shall he do for the tent of meeting that dwells within them. So, which means that this rite must be performed not only the first time in the wilderness, but wherever the divine presence dwell. You may think that this applies only to Yom Kippur. How about the rest of the years? You should learn from its cover that every incense burned in the temple must include a smoke razor. Rashi said one verse teaches mitzvah itself and one to a requirement that is indispensable, which means the right is invalid if one omits these ingredients. One is to create punishment, and one is the warning that is prohibited to omit. So the Torah does not require punishment without issuing a warning. Tanya Rabbi Eliezer Omer, v'lo yamut onesh, ki b'anan eraya azara. Rabbi Eliezer says that he should not die. It's a punishment for missing, omission. For I will appear in a cloud. So this is warning that is prohibited to emit the smoke razor which causes the cloud to rise. So you may say that both verses apply before the death of two sons of Aaron, which you read in my book Table Talk. There is a long list of perushim, explanations why they died. It's a long list. But then he said, anyway, Talmud achrei mot shnei bnei Aaron. After the death of two sons of Aaron, Leviticus 16, so you may say that both of them applies to because they put the incense, the Nadav and Avihu pass. So they said, so they said that I will appear in the cloud upon the outcover. So how? The warning was before the death of Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu, and the punishment, it's after the death. My Talmud, what is the derivation of the Torah for that? They said that I will appear in a cloud, which means that this is a future tense. And that indicates that the cloud covered the earth, had not yet appeared, because the tabernacle was not being built, which means that the command was issued before Aaron's sons entered and died. What's the reason that Aaron's sons were punished with death? So as we said, there are many explanations. One of them is the idea that because they taught halacha before the teacher, which is the Moshe Rabbeinu, Maidarush, how they teach. In other words, in a way, there is a certain decorum when the Rabbi and the teacher rules how to behave. So how would that happen? So they said, "V'natnu bnei Aaron HaKohen esh al hamizbeach." The Torah said, and the sons of Aaron, the Kohen, should put the fire upon the altar. That's Leviticus chapter 1. So it means although the fire as descends from heaven, it's a mitzvah for human man-made fire. So in order for the Aaron's sons to fulfill the mitzvah properly, they brought the fire to the altar. Although the ruling was according to the halacha, they incurred that penalty for failing to ask Moshe Rabbeinu how to do it. So in other words, according to these explanations, they have also to get his consent for that. The Mishnah said that the Kohen Gadol exit and count out the way that he entered, which means he's not turn around. We said that that's the way we go when we visit the wall. מנהל למילה אמר רבי שמואל בר נחמני אמר רבי יונתן אמר קרא ויבוא שלמה לבמה אשר בגבעון ירושלים. וכי מה גבעון אצל ירושלים? They said that the Solomon came to the high place with Givon Yerushalayim. That's Chronicle chapter 1. So what's does Givon has to do with Yerushalayim? Either he came to Givon or to Yerushalayim. There is two different places. אלא מקיש יציאתו מגבעון לירושלים וביתו מירושלים לגבעון. We compare his exit from Givon to Yerushalayim to his arrival to Yerushalayim to Givon. How? מה ביאתו מירושלים לגבעון פניו כלפי מערכה כדרך ביאתו. The same way that from Yerushalayim to Givon, his face is the way he entered אף יצאתו מכיוון ירושלים בלב כלפי במד כדרך ביאתו. The same way, his exit from Givon to Yerushalayim, his face was still turned toward the high place in a manner that he was arrived. So it's to teach us that one does not turn his face away from the sacred place, rather he must walk backward. That's the way we go back from the kotel. וכן כהנים בעבודתם ולווים מדוכנם בישראל במעמדם. The same way is the Kohanim, they do the service and the Leviim when they do the platform in the Beit HaMikdash, and Israel when they watch it, so they all observe the sacrifice of the daily offering. כשהם נפטרים, when they leave, when they departed, לא היו מחזירים פניהם והולכים, do not turn the faces sideways and walk, אלא מצדדים פניהם והולכים. So they go, they not turn their faces and walk, but they turn their faces sideways and walk. So it's not turned backs to the sacred places. So again, it's to show the proper decorum. So from that we derive another important halacha. And we said, וכן תלמיד הנפטר מרבו. You said the same apply when a student, when he leave his master, his teacher, so he said, לא יחזיר פניו אלך, אלא מצלת פניו והולך. So the Meiri explains that the disciple, the students, who need to leave his teacher should not turn his face and walk, but turn his face sideways and walk, which means again, it's we learn from the Beis HaMikdash the same way that it's a proper decorum behavior of between one and something to express a appreciation and subjugation to that. כהל רבי אלעזר, קבל מפטר מיני רבי יוחנן, כדאבר באי רבי יוחנן לסגויה, הבגח עם קאי רבי אלעזר הדוכתיה, דאבר מקסי רבי יוחנן מיני. So here's an example. So the student of Rabbi Elazar, when he was a student of Rabbi Yochanan, so when he was about to leave his teacher, he used to bow down until Rabbi Yochanan reach a point that Rabbi Elazar not see him. So again, it's act of respect. So when Rabbi Elazar intend to leave, the same manner. So he goes, like Rashi said, backward to show the proper respect. Rabbi Yosef was blind. But even though Rava was his student, so when he left his teacher, Rabbi Yosef, he went backward. So a person should, the Meiri said, should go backward when you see here. But here they give an extreme example that he walked backward, paying no attention to the obstacle in his path until his legs was bruises. And Rav Yosef's house was bloody from Rava's wounds. So again, to show an example that he was so respectful to his teacher, that he walked backward and he injured himself. 53b, Amruna le Rav Yosef v'acheavid Rava. So Rashi said Rav Yosef was blind, so he didn't see it. So they told him, your student Rava, this is what happened to him. Amar le Rava tarum rishecha kula keracha. He blessed him. There's a two options: either that you will be the Rosh Yeshiva of this city, that's Iyun Yaakov said, because he honored his teacher, so he blessed him that he will be blessed. Ben Yochanan said that every place the halacha followed him. So in other words, he was very pleased with his manners and respect. אמר רבי אלכסנדר, אמר רבי יהושע בן לוי, מתפלל צריך שיפסיע 3 פסיעות לאחורה ואחר ייתן שלום. Here we see a practical halacha too, that the person that finished davening, finished praying, he should walk. He starts his left leg, he goes backward. And Biur halacha in the Kuf Kav Gimel explained that if it's someone who's lefty, is the other way. But and then ואחר כך ייתן shalom. And then he said, so it's like he bow down and get the permission. Lahavdil, lahavdil, lahavdil. When you watch the Eastern culture, you see in China and those places, they bow down every time they finish talking to a master, etc., etc. So the why they need to go 3 backward steps. So the Beit Yosef brought one explanation from Rabbi Gaon, that is the prayer, it's for the daily offering. So so that's the way the Kohen does. Another option, that Moshe Rabbeinu went to a 3 petition before he sees God. So that's the way we do it. The Rabbeinu Manoach said that that's applied to the Ezekiel that speaks about the angels and the chariots, that they goes like straight legs, like when you do in Kedusha, you're holding the 2 legs together. So that's the manner they used to do it. They said Ragleihem, which is double, and then Regel Yeshara, the one that is the 3rd one. And the last explanation, the 4th one that the Beit Yosef brought, when they hear the voice of God, the Israel in the desert went backward 3 steps. So again, it's a implication. How should we move backward when we finish praying? אמר רב מרדכי, כיוון שפסע 3 פסיעות לאחוריו, since he goes backward 3 steps, התם, in that place, איבאי למיקם, he needs to stand, משל לתלמיד הנפטר מרבו, אם חוזר לאתר, דומה לכלב ששב על כלאו. So in other words, he goes backward, and the Rif explains that he should stand there until the Chazan, when he does the repetition of the Amidah, start Baruch Atah Hashem. But the Tur said in Rochaim Kuf Kav Gimel, and that's basically the Rambam hold the same, that when you reach the Kedusha, then he goes backward. So again, you do Aseh Shalom B'Mromav, you say Shalom Aleinu, you go 3 steps backward, and you stand there. And then you wait for the Shliach Tzibur. The Shliach Tzibur start Baruch Atah Hashem the Amidah, and when he reach Baruch Atah Hashem Mechaya Mitim, at that time you go 3 steps forward, and then you join with him the Kedusha. That's the way we understand from those sources. Tanya Nameachi. We learn also in the Braita, מתפלל צריך שיפתיע 3 תפילות לאחוריו, אחר כך ייתן שלום. אם לא עשה כן, ראוי לו שלא יתפלל. So he should go backward, and if he doesn't do that, again, ראוי לו שלא יתפלל. Rashi tells us here, ראוי לו שלא יתפלל. So he said, ראוי לו שלא יתפלל גרסיאן, כלומר נוח היה לו אם לא יתפלל, כמו ראוי לו שלא בא לעולם. So I explained in my book, ביורא כלומר ורש"י אל הש"ס, based on the Diktu case offering, that doesn't mean that it's better if he's not davening. It means that his prayer doesn't carry the proper level of decorum, the proper level of respect that should be. In other words, there's a certain way to ask for permission to go on. And when you talk to a king of kings, you should be careful to show respect all the time. And if you don't do that, it's like, in a way, you just want to go over, you just want to quickly finish davening, and you don't have the proper respect. ומשום שמעיה אמרו שנותן שלום לימין ואחר כך לשמאל. Half of Shmaya said that he should turn one side and the other. So the Tur or Chaim Kuf Kav Gimel said, so Ose Shalom B'Mromav is to the right side. Huya says Shalom Aleinu is go to the left side. And then he bowed down, while Kol Yisrael, the Mordechai said, V'imru Amen. So that's basically the decorum. Why he start with the right side? Shenema, because they said in the book of the Devarim, chapter 33, Mimino eshdat le'amo. From the right hand and from the fire, Hashem gave the Torah to Am Yisrael. So it means that the right is better than the left. Ve'omer, they said in Tehillim, in Psalm 91, Yipol mitzidcha elef u'vava miminecha elecha lo yigash. So it means that even you see all these demons, all these evil forces against you, they'll be around you, but they not touch you. I remember a fellow that we served together during the first Lebanon war. So he told me he served one of those tanks units. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, when they are in south, at the border of South Lebanon, those who are familiar with that topography of that area, it's a high mountain, low valleys, and especially in the freezing winter, you hardly see around. So to make long story short, they have a special mission on this big explosion, and somehow his tank for some time left alone, and he just starts saying, and he wasn't so religious man, but he starts saying this line, and he said that really mamish miracle happened, that he saw this pasuk fulfilled, that Yipol mitzidcha elef, you see 1,000 on your right side, you see so many on the other side, you saw the enemies from all the different directions. Elecha lo yigash, so miracle that don't reach his tanks. So he said that's one of the miracles. I heard also from Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, may rest in peace. He said a story about a soldier during Yom Kippur war, that he came to Rabbi Shlomo and he wants to be religious. And Rabbi Shlomo said to him why, and he said that he wasn't observant, but it's a picture from his grandfather that he never met, and he gathered it from his mother. And during the war, suddenly he was driving the tank, and he saw, close to the Suez Canal, suddenly he saw like his grandfather standing before him. And he didn't even recognize it, just saw a religious man davening with the talis and tefillin, and he didn't know what's going on. And he tried to stop the tank, and eventually he stopped it, and he almost killed that person. And when he stopped, it looks like he killed him. And he was very upset, and he stopped right there, and he turns that because he stopped, he didn't went over the big explosion. It was just in the front of him. And he said after the war, it's like his grandfather with the talis and tefillin face saved him. So it's an amazing story. You can hear it directly from Shlomo. But the key here is the Yipol mitzidcha elef u'va miminecha, that it's a fulfillment what King David said in Psalm 91. You can see around you all kind of enemies, but not reach you. My ve'omer. Why did they bring it another pasuk? As we said many times, that many things we do on the right side, like the tabernacle, the tablets was giving on the right side. Tashma, we derive from this pasuk, that's the special use of the right side, not from the left. So Rava Chazia Abaye Avi Shlama Limina Bereisha. Rava saw Abaye use the right side to go backward. Marley Rava said to Abaye, Mi Savart, you meant to say Le'amin Didach, Le'smol Didach Kama. The Have Yamino Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So in our anthropomorphic way, it's like Hashem is on the other side. So what it's left for you, it's right for him. So אמר רב חייא ברי דרב הונא חזירו לו לאביי ודרב דפסילו שלא פסיעות בכריכה אחת. So it means that he saw them bow down 3 steps without standing up in the middle of that. So in other words, a person should sees, it's like Magen Avraham said in Kuf Kav Gimel, that Hashem is always there with him. And they said that the 3 steps carries a special meaning. There's many different ways. They have an extra prayer at that time. The Gemarrah in Sanhedrin 96 said that because Nebuchadnezzar, the evil king, ran in honor of Hashem 3 steps, he became the king that burned the Beit HaMikdash, which means that it's all symbols of out of respect, to show that the 3 steps expresses a certain respect at the end of the prayer. The Mishnah said that he made a short prayer in the outer part of the Beit HaMikdash. What exactly he prayed? So in other words, they prayed that this mate will be a will, that this year will be a year full of rain and a good year and warm year. So why he prayed for that? So in other words, it should be, that's what she said, it should be an abundance of rain. לא יעד יעביד שולטן מדבית יהודה. So he prayed that as Yaakov blessed Yehuda, lo yasu shavim Yehuda, that it means that the kingdom continued from the house of Yehuda. So it means that that should be continuation of the kingdom from Yehuda. That the people should not depend on living from each other. So in other words, people who travel will not reach this heavy rain or heavy weather, because it creates sickness, or they get stuck in the mud, etc. Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa Abakazil Bocha, the great Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa, one of the greatest rabbis that live at the end of the era of the Second Temple. So he walked in his way, and he said, Shda mitrale. So you have rain. Omar Rebbeinu Shalom, Kol Haolam Kulo Benachat B'Chanina B'Tzar. It's a famous story. He said that whole world enjoy from the rain, and I have a source. So the Maharsha asked, why he asked for himself instead of the whole world? And he explained that Ben Yehuda said that it's not applies to everyone else, but just for him he asked not to have this sorrow. He was a very poor person. Pasak mitra, so the rain stopped. So then it's the other way around. Because I don't have a field, I have Chanina ben Dosa, the poor person, so I should not worry about the rain stop. But all the rest needs it, so you should not stop it. How do you compare the prayer of the Kohen Gadol to Chanina ben Dosa? Tan Rabbanan, Maaseh b'Kohen Gadol echad. And so the Yerushalmi said that that's applied to Shimon the righteous. Sharich b'tfilato, that he was davening a long time. ונמנו, אחד הכהנים להיכנס אחריו. So they thought that התחילו הם נכנסים והוא יוצא. So in other words, they about to enter and they saw him coming out. אמרו לו, מפני מרחת בתפילתך, why you make such a long prayer? אמר להם, קשה בניכם משפט לכם על בית המקדש לא יחרב. So 40 years Shimon the righteous was the high priest. And every year he saw a good sign. And excluding that last year, that he saw that it's going to pass, אמרו לו, אל תהי רגיל לעשות כן, שהרי שנינו לא היה מדריך בתפילתו כדי שלא להביט את ישראל. So they're always afraid that the Miri said that it may be passed, and they have the tradition that any Kohen Gadol that changed the decorum of the incense will pass. So the Zohar said in Seder Moed that they put a rope around him and they put him out because some of them couldn't make it. But it's clear that it was a great fear for people not to see him. So therefore they asked him not to pray, only what needed, and not to make it too long. So the previous Mishnah we learned how, in regards to the ark, the Kohen Gadol put the coal and the plate and put the incense of in the Yom Kippur. So they said how they did it later. Mishenital Aron, when they lost the ark, Even הייתה שם מות נביאים ראשונים ושתייה הייתה נקראת. So it was a water stone that was from the earliest time, and it's called Eben השתייה. גבוה מן הארץ 3 אצבעות ועליה נותן. So it was above ground 3 fingers, and here in that place the Kohen put the coal pan there. So then, after he made the short prayer in the outer place, Natal et Adam, the Kohen Gadol took the blood, it was another Kohen that used to move it, and it was steering it. So, נכנס למקום שנכנס, ועמד שבמקום שעמד. So he will enter into the place that he had previously entered, which is the Holy of Holies, and he stood at the place where he had previously stood to offer the incense between the staves. And he sprinkled from the blood 1 time upward and 7 times downwards. And if you remember, we sing it together on Yom Kippur. He would not intend to sprinkle the blood upward, not to sprinkle downward, but rather like one weeps with the blood sprinkled in a single column, 1 drop below the other. And this one he counted to avoid any error. Achat, meaning with the second one is part of the first one. Achat, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7. So then the Kohen Gadol יצא וניחו על הקן הזהב שבהיכל. He then emerges from the places, the bowl and the remaining blood on the golden pedestal in the sanctuary. הביאו לו את השעיר, they brought him the goat to sacrifice to sin offering to Hashem. שחטו קיבל במזרק את דמו. He slaughtered and received the blood in the bowl. נכנס למקום שנכנס ועמד, שמקום שעמד, he again entered the place that he had previously entered, the Holy of Holies, and he stood in the place that he previously stood. ויזם ממנו אחר למעלה ו7 למטה. And he sprinkled there 1 upward and 7 times downward. וכך היה מונה, in this way it was count 1, 1, ו1, 1 ו2, 1 ו3, 1 ו4, 1 ו5, 1 ו6, 1 ו7. יצא וניחו על כאן הזהב השני שבהיכל. He then put the bowl remaining in the second golden pedestal in the sanctuary. Rabbi אומר לא היה שם אלא כן אחד בלבד. Rabbi says there was only 1 pedestal there, and he took the blood of the bull from the pedestal, נטל דם הפר וניח דם השעיר, and he placed the blood of the goat in its place. ויזם ממנו לפרוכת שנגדל מבחוץ, and he sprinkled the blood of the bull on the certain opposite of the ark, outside of the Holy of Holies. 1 למעלה ו7 למטה, ולא היה מתכוון 1 upward and 7 downward, he will not intend, etc. By this we said. וכך היה מונה, and this was the same way, 1 ו1, etc. נטל דם השעיר וניח דם הפר, he placed the blood of the goat from the pedestal, and placed blood of the bull in its place on the pedestal. And then, 1 למעלה ו7 למטה, again, he sprinkled 1 upward and 7 times downward. Then afterward he poured the blood of the bull לתוך דם השעיר, into the blood of the goat, ונתן את המלא בריקן, and he placed the blood from the bull, from the full bowl into the empty bowl, so that the blood will be mixed well. Now the Gemarrah said, משנגנז לו לא קטני, אלא משניטל. The ark was buried, but it's not the time that it was buried, but they used the word after it was taken. Tnan keman de'amar, Aharon gala leBavel. We learned that one of the opinions that said that the ark was exiled to Babylon. So they said, Shene'emar, and this is in Divrei Yomim Chronicles, chapter 2, second book, chapter 36, Velitshuvat Hashana, the end of the year that Nebuchadnezzar exiled Yoyakim, the father of Yoyachim. Shalach HaMelech Nebuchadnezzar vayviyehu Bavela im klei chemdat bet Hashem. So he brought Yoyachim to Babylon with all the beauty of the house of God. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer, this is the kever that we just visited. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer, Aharon gala leBavel. The ark was exiled to Babylon, shenemar, because it's written in the prophecy of Isaiah, when he talked to Chizkiyahu, the king, in Isaiah 39, Lo yivater davar amar Hashem. So it means, Elo aseret hadibrot. That's applied to the 10 commandments, that it was in the ark. Rabbi Yehuda ben Lakish Omer, Aharon bimkomo nignaz, which is the ark was concealed, buried under his place, which is in the Holy of Holies shenemar, because it's written when they entered the ark to the first Beit HaMikdash, that's the building that King Solomon made, the first book of Kings, chapter 8, ויראו ראשי עבדים מן הקודש על פני הדביר ולא יראו החוצה. So it means that ראשי עבדים was outer of the Holy of Holies, toward the curtain, in that Amatrak scene that we study, inside this sanctuary, but not because the curtain was the partition in between. So in other words, according to Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, the ark went to Babylon. And the Ula have different views. ופליגי דאולה, אמר אולה, שאל הרב מתיה בן חרש, רבי שמעון בן יוחאי ברומי. So Rabbi Yachai ben Charash lived in Rome. That's said in Sanhedrin 32. So over there he met Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, that he came to talk to the king over there, the Caesar, to annul 3 decrees against the Jewish people. Those decrees that they ask people to violate the Torah laws. That's Rabbeinu Eliakim said. So he said, "V'chi me'achar shRabbi Eliezer melamdenu pam rishona v'shniya." From 2 different psukim, Rashi said, "Aharon gala leBavel." The ark was exiled Babylon. So now the Gemara stopped this discussion, and they want to explain what's the 2 sources of Rabbi Eliezer that the ark was exiled to Babylon. So they said Rishonah, the Amaran, the first pasuk, what we said, "Vayiviyehu Bavel im klei chemdat bet Hashem." Shniya ma'i was the second one, Dichtiv, because it said in the book of Lamentations, chapter 1, it's written by Jeremiah, "Vayetze mibat Tzion kol hadara," that from the daughter of Zion, all the glory, all the beauty left. So I explained in my book, Biura Klomar Berashi Shas, on this Rashi, Klomar Mishneh Mikraot, because according to the way Rabbi Mati ben Charash, Rishonah v'Shniya applies to Rabbi Eliezer, which means Rabbi Eliezer teaches us twice and not 1 time. So Rashi said, Pam Rishonah u'Shniya Mishneh Mikraot. So that these 2 psukim, it's want to emphasize, it's like teach us twice. It's not only teach us 1 place and 1 time, it's also the second one as well. Again, I elaborate in the book here, but 54, just few lines before we finish this year. My kol hadara. What does that mean? Kol hadara, all the splendor. Let's say Lamentations chapter 1. So they said chadra. Chadra, it's a her chamber, which means something that was hidden within the innermost chambers, namely the ark. מה אתה אומר? אמר לו רבי שמעון בר יוחאי, רבי שמעון בר יוחאי respond to him, and he said, I disagree with Rabbi Lazar. And he said, שכן, שאני אומר, ארון במקומו נגנז, שנאמר, because they said in the book of Kings, the first one, chapter 8, ויעריכו עבדים. So, therefore, ויהיו שם על היום הזה, it's over there. אמר לי רבא לאולה, מהי משמע? So Rabbi asked Ula, what do you derive from that? So he said, dichtiv, how do you know that it was concealed, the ark in that place? Dichtiv, because it's written there, ויהיו שם על היום הזה. Which means, until that place, which means up to the end of the days. Rashi said in Bereshit 22, Pasuk Yudalet, Pasuk 14, that that view, that's what the meaning of the Yom Hazeh, because here what we understand, so since the end of the era of the first temple up to our days, we cannot find the ark in the space of the Holy of Holies. You have to say that it was under its place, and therefore the rest is there to this day. וכל אחד הכתיב עד היום הזה לעולם הוא. So any place that you see until this day, is that apply forever? והכתיב את היבוסי יושב ירושלים להורישו בני בנימין וישב היבוסי בני בנימין עד היום הזה. They said in the book of Judges, chapter 1, that the Jebusites, they live in Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, they didn't drive out the sons of Benjamin, and he stayed there until this day. So Hachename de lo galu. You're going to tell me that the sons of Benjamin never exiled from Yerushalayim to this day? V'atanya, we learn clearly, Rabbi Yehuda אומר 52 שנה לא עבר איש ביהודה, 52 years, no one there. So this was the years between the destruction of Yerushalayim and the first Beit HaMikdash until the Koresh, the king of Persia, gave him the right to go and rebuild the temple. So that was the 52 years, and you see in your Gemarrah, I hope, a chart of how things happened at that time. That was 52 years of desolation. Shene'emar, because Jeremiah said, in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, על הערים מסבכי בנאי ועל נאות מדבר קינה, כי נסתו מבלי איש עובר ולא שמעו כל מקנה מעוף השמיים ובמים נגדו הלכו. That's its lamentation of the Churban Habayit, the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, that it's for this time, בהמה, בגמרא 52, the word בהמה, if you take the numerical value, it's 52. So that's an implication of 52 years. That was a state of desolation. So that's the time that the land of Judah and Jerusalem wasn't anyone. So, ותנא רבי יוסי אומר, 7 שנים התקיימה גופרית ומלח בארץ ישראל. This curse on the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29, applies 7 years that they have גופרית ומלח, that שרופה כל ארצה, the whole land was a total desolation. ואמר רבי יוחנן ויתמד רבי יוסי, what's the source of Rabbi Yossi saying that? עתיה ברית ברית, because we learned the juxtaposition for the word covenant twice. כתיב אחא והגביר ברית לברבים שבוע אחד. They said in the book of Daniel chapter 9 that the angel Gabriel told Daniel that he had the covenant with ministers 1 week, which means 1 week, it means that 7 years. וכתיבתם, it's written how they watch and they see that the whole land was desolate, and they said in the book of Deuteronomy chapter, so it's written there in the Deuteronomy 29, they should say, because ואמרו על אשר עזבו את ברית השם אלוקי אבותם, because they forsook the covenant of the Lord, the God of their fathers. So it means that the Jebusites must have been exiled from Yerushalayim, which proves that the phrase to this day does not always mean forever. Here in the ark is written, and they are there. And there they say deal with the Jebusites, and it's not written Hatam Lochtiv Sham. And anywhere that there is written with the phrase of this day, it means forever. So, וחלק אפשר לעולם הוא. מי טבעו מהם מן בני שמעון הלכו להסיר אנשים 500 ופלטיה ונהריה ורפאיה ובוזי על בני אישי בראשם והכות שירת הפליטה לעמלק וישבו שם על היום הזה. So they said that's in Chronicle chapter 4. You see here the son of Shimon, this is a list of them. dwelt this day, וכבר הלך סנחריב מלך אשור ובלבל כל הארצות. The Gemarrah explained that Sancheriv, the king of Assyria, that's very important, had already come, and through his policy or forced population transfer, he had scrambled all the nation of the lands. So that's very important. When we ever discuss the nations, we should know that that's one of the issues, that they scramble all the nations. So to this very day, in that sense, you don't know if that's the same as the ancient one. שנאמר, ואסיר גבולות עמים ועתודותיהם שושתי. So they said that I have removed, Isaiah chapter 10, have removed the bounds of the people and have robbed their treasures. So the children of Shimon were also exiled, despite the fact that the verse said that they're to this day. So the Gemarrah concludes, Tshuvta, its conclusion of refutation of Ula's statement. Rambam, İlchot Avodat Yom Kippurim, who said during the second Beit HaMikdash, there was a community of Sadducees who did not accept the tradition of the oral Torah. In their opinion, the Kohen Gadol entered the Holy of Holies only after he put the incense on the coal pan. So therefore, concerned that the Kohen Gadol might sympathize with this heresy, the sages made him swear not to behave in this manner. If the Kohen Gadol leaves out one of the incense spices, or if he does not include the smoke razor, he incurs the mita, death penalty. He is likewise liable to be put to death for entering the Holy of Holies without performing the mitzvah. So consequently, if the Kohen enters unintentionally, but burns the incense intentionally, or if he burns the incense unintentionally, but enters the chamber intentionally, so they said, or if he brings both complete and incomplete incense, he incurs the same mitah. This halakha, according to opinion of Rav Sheshet and Rav Ashi. That's Rambam, Ilchot Avodat Yom Kippurim, chapter 2. Now, mitzvah le'avim min ha'ediot. Although that's a Rambam, Ilchot Tmidin u'Musafim, chapter 2. Although fire descends from the heaven, it is special mitzvah to bring man-made fire to ensure that that fire burn constantly on the altar. And that was the issue with the two sons of Aaron. A practical halacha also from Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim 123. המתפלל צריך שיפסיע 3 פסיעות לאחוריו. One who prays must take 3 steps backward. Upon concluding the Amidah prayer, one bows and takes 3 steps backward. He then turns his face first to the left and then to the right, finally bowing straight in front of him, like a servant taking leave of his master. We talk about Tfilah Ksara Shel Kohen Gadol. Excuse me. The high priest short prayer. That's Rambam Ilchot Yom Kippurim chapter 4. While in the sanctuary, the Kohen Gadol recited the short prayer, which is, may it be your will, Lord our God, that if this year is hot, let it be rainy, and it may scepter not departed from the house of Yehuda, and may your nation Israel not require charity, and do not accept prayer of travelers. That's a famous text. You see it also in the Seder Avoda at our Machzorim. Last halacha of today, it's a Rambam Ilchot Yom Kippurim, chapter 4. נטל את הדם ממי שהיה ממרס בו. The Kohen Gadol takes the blood of the bull from the priest who is steering it, enters the Holy of Holies, and sprinkles 8 times between the 2 staves of the ark. He then places the bull on the golden pedestal in the sanctuary. Next, he leaves the sanctuary, slaughters the goat, and collects the blood. He once again enters the Holy of Holies and sprinkles the blood between the staves of the ark. 8 times. He then sprinkled the bull's blood 8 times toward the curtain across the ark, and the goat's blood 8 times there as well. He then pours the blood of the bull into the blood of the goat, and then pour the mixture back into the first bowl to mix them thoroughly. That's the Rambam, הלכות עבודת יום הכיפורים, chapter 4, שיבנה בית המקדש במהרה בימינו אמן.
אמן.
ציר מי שלא יוכלני